Hello everybody, Snake Island Exotics here again, and today we're going to do some snake feeding and some tips and tricks I've learnt over the years on how to get them to feed. Hope you enjoy the video. So first, we always defrost the food in lukewarm water. So I've got some cold water in there now, and I've got some warm water from the kettle. And we'll just put the smallest little bit in, that's plenty, and then that now will be the perfect temperature to defrost them without any exploding stomachs. So I'll carry on and let them defrost, and then we'll do some feeding. So when you're picking your food item for your snake, you're looking for the thickest part of her body, and that's the size of food item you can give her, apart from adult corns, because their heads don't grow in the same ratio to their bodies. As you can see, she's got a tiny little head and a massive body. So if we give her that size mouse or rat or wiener rat, it's not going to go down. So it's just not going to work. So largest you'll ever feed a corn snake is a small wiener rat. Maybe a large wiener rat, but I'd be very surprised. It's usually small wieners. XL mice is perfectly fine for her. And because you don't really want to go on to rats because they do have a higher fat content. And that's what her problem is. Too much of a high fat content. A little chubby girl. But yeah, there we go. I'll check if they're defrosted yet, and we can do some feeding. So while we're waiting for them to defrost, another little tip as well. If your snake's not feeding, they see their food through heat. So one little tip is you can boil the kettle, dangle your little mouse in front of it, and the steam that comes up from here will heat the outside of the mouse up to a nice hot temperature. So then the snake's got a really good chance of seeing it, smelling it, and it usually entices them to give it a good strike and to hold it and actually take it as well. Giving it a little wiggle as well can be a little tip. Just so as soon as they strike, give it a wiggle, and then they still think it's alive. So up, phone's going, I'll be back in a sec. Also, sometimes snakes won't feed because they're scared. Because they've only got one way of protecting themselves, is their mouth. So as soon as their mouth's full of food, they're completely defenceless. So if they think they're scared or they're intimidated in some sort of way, they won't feed. So sometimes it's best just to step away from the tank, get a pair of tongs and feed like that, so you're further away from the tank and she can't see you. Sometimes it's better to turn some of the lights off, make it a bit darker. Sometimes it's better when they're in the hide because they feel safe and they can just shoot out, grab it and shoot back in. So yeah, there's a couple of different scenarios, and usually 99% of the time we can get the snakes back feeding again. But she's a lovely girl, she is. Look, I ain't got no food, it's okay. Oh no, she's not having it. So I think she knows it's dinner time, that's why she can smell the food on me. So we'll get them food and we'll get her fed. It's also very important that your food is completely defrosted. Now, you can hear them, they're not defrosted. Now, he's almost defrosted. He's got a bit of wiggle in him, but his spine is still frozen. So you need to make sure that his whole body is completely flexible. Now, these little ones, for the Pac-Man frog and stuff like that, see, nice and floppy. So we'll go feed the Pac-Man since his dinner's all defrosted and ready. So there's our Pac-Man frog. He is a strawberry pineapple, this is breeding. So we're going to see if he wants some dinner. So we've got his food there, all nicely defrosted. Whoa, he's got it, he's got the tongs. He's that strong, I can let go of the tongs and they're still together. He's got it, still got the tongs, and we got him. God, what a powerful jaw that is. to be able to hold these tongues closed while I'm not holding them is pretty impressive. So as soon as the snakes are ready to be fed, we'll get them fed. Chubby boy. See you in a bit. Another little tip as well is they will sink when they're finished defrosting 90% of the time. So you can see now he's at the bottom of the bucket and he's all floppy. So that is perfect now to be fed. So we're going to do some feeding. We've got that one's ready. We've got the baby royals ready, well, juvenile. But the royal, big royal and snapper, I'm afraid they're going to have to wait a little bit longer. It's their fault for being bigger. So we're going to take them over now and give them a feed. So you want to hold the mouse by his back end and you want it head first because that's the way the snake's going to eat it. So you want to introduce it to the snake. Of course, you're going to be a bit scared at first and then the smell is going to start coming. As soon as she gets the smells, she should soon come right up and have it. Oh, see, look. And now slowly leaving it away is a part of the chase. You see she learns straight at that now. And now with some of the other ones that aren't too keen, I would have tried to hold on to the mouse and give it a little bit of a wiggle. And then they're more entitled then to give it a couple more squeezes. And then they think it's alive, so they got more chance of eating it in one big go then. You can see she's had a good strike there. If I touch her, she's going to put some more strikes on the mouse. She thinks someone's trying to get it off her. There you go, you can see her head there. And she's adjusting her teeth. So that's how they slowly work their way along. Because there's a misconception that they can dislocate their jaws. They can't, they're naturally separated. So they can just stretch the ligaments and it's so they move the top half and then move the bottom. So the top half of the jaw is one jaw and then the bottom half splits is in two. And that's how they work their way along, slowly eating the food item. See, she's so food orientated, she doesn't even know the phone's recording her. She might let us sit and watch the whole thing. She's moving on us. See how she's slowly working her way along. All the arms and that all go down in the right direction when you feed them head first. You'll see as well if they try and take it the wrong way, eventually they will spit it out, readjust and go again. There she is. She's got the head down and the front legs. You see how she's stretching? You see much bigger than that. You can see she would start to really stretch and maybe tear her skin. So once you've got that space in between the scales, that's the biggest food item you can feed. You don't want too much of a gap between them scales because that's when you're going to get problems. See now she's got a tiny bit of substrate stuck to the mouse, but she'll soon spit that out once she's swallowed it all. The corn snakes are a great first time snake. They're very self-looking after. They're usually food orientated, so they're easy to get feeding. So she's going to let me take that substrate off. Oh, there we go, it's a little bit less. It's almost like she's in a trance. Completely in a trance. Little burp there from her. Yeah, so she's had most of that now. We'll go see if the other ones want to feed. So here we have the other baby royal, or juvenile. So he's another strike feeder from in the cave. Seeing as he's a smaller snake, can be a bit more timid. You can smell it because he's coming out. See if we can get a good strike off him. Little wiggle. Feed it away. So he thinks he's going to miss out if it goes too far away. A bit closer maybe. Oh, he's coming out. What's he thinking? What's he thinking? Oh, dropped it. Such a wicked snake. Oh, he's got it. He's got it by the leg. Now you have to be careful again. Feeding next to your water bowl, you have to make sure you're below the water bowl. So if they fall, go in the water bowls, then they can drown while they're trying to eat the food. Because they only have a tiny little air pipe, which is just down here. You can see that little line there is the part of the muscle. Well, part of the attachment of the muscle. Oh, camera's playing up. Sorry everybody, give me a sec. I think it's because I was recording such a long video without having a break. So there he is. He's most likely going to realign his jaws because he's only got the leg. Or he's just going to eat it from the side because he's weird. But most of the time you get a good bite on it and then slowly move his head round using his jaws to get to the right position and then swallow it down head first. And he is a Spark Royal, came in as a male, tame as anything. You can see there's a video on the channel of me helping him shed, and we do a bit of teamwork. I'm holding it for him while he wiggles out. I've had to take eye caps off him and he just sits there and lets me do it. He's a cracking little snake. I'll let him feed because he might be slowing down and waiting because I'm here. So we'll move on to the big Royal. And then we feed the beast. So, me locking the door, made the noise, and he's dropped it. So, we'll have to wash it off now because he's dropped it in the substrate. We'll see if he'll have another strike at it. If not, it just goes to the snapper. There's never any waste in the shop when we got the dustbin snapper. No? You gonna come have it? What I might do is I'll leave it there for him for a couple of minutes and he may come and take it on his own. I'll give you a heads up and let you know how he gets on. So you can see she's sat there ready for me. She is ready for her dinner. Oh, she's got it. That was a nice one. We'll give her a bit of a spray while we're here. She didn't like that. No, didn't like any of that. Didn't like any of that. You needed a spray, me darling. He's looking a bit dry. Want to go again? Oh, there we go. She's had it. She don't mess about with food. Sweet, there we go. Oh, and it gets dragged away. Oh, that's a horrible way to go. But I'll feed the beast. He's never had any trouble. He has it every time. So here we have the beast. Oh, let's see if we Get a nice view of him feeding. I don't know if that's going to be any good there. So we'll try a different angle. Hang on, I'm struggling here. Give me a sec. There we go. So it doesn't matter how the snapper takes his food, as he takes it back with his jaw. So there he is, look. Oh, cracking little take. So we'll have that now, and then he'll be alright there until next Sunday. Hope you enjoyed the video, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow with another update. See you in the future. Bye.